Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, the Dallas Mavericks are officially out of the NBA playoffs after last night's loss to the Chicago Bulls. Kobe White had one hell of a game, 24 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. But the Dallas Mavericks are going to have to... I'm going to be honest, they're going to have to find a way to rebuild their team this offseason in order to keep Luka Doncic there in Dallas. There's already signs that Luka Doncic is disgruntled in Dallas. He's not happy that they're not winning games anymore. He feels like he's just kind of just going through the motions, and that's not good. That's not good if you're a franchise with a superstar player who now suddenly is not enjoying themselves anymore while playing basketball for you. And I gotta be honest, man. The Dallas Mavericks are a team that I think has to, if you're a fan of the Dallas Mavericks, I think you have to expect that Kyrie Irving's not coming back and Christian Wood's not coming back, and neither is Dwight Powell, I think. If Dwight Powell comes... Dwight Powell, to me, has never been a guy that I'm like... I just don't think he's, a winning basketball player, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm simply saying guys like him, Maxi Kleber, Davis Bertans, Tim Hardaway Jr., these guys aren't bad, but they're not good either. You know what I'm saying? They're not great players. They're not guys that really are game-changing guys. And there's a couple guys in free agency that I think to myself, if Dallas could trade Davis Bertans and Tim Hardaway Jr. I know Tim Hardaway Jr. shoots the three at 38%, but the thing is, they're paying him $17 million and or almost $18 million, and they'll be paying him $16 million next year. Then you got Davis Bertans, a guy who doesn't play for you really at all, and you're paying him $17 million this year and $16 million again next year. If they could get rid of those two guys, right, the possibilities for this team in the offseason are fucking endless. And I feel like that's really the Dallas Mavericks, I feel like that's their front office's goal this offseason, is to at least move Davis Bertans to somebody who will take him. And the only way that and unfortunately Davis Bertans gets paid so much money that I don't think they will be able to move him. But Davis Bertans is a guy that's his value is really going to come from them maybe not re-signing Dwight Powell and giving him more minutes and seeing if he can even shoot the three at what he used to, 39% 1 year or some crazy shit like that. Davis Bertans is a guy that if they give him playtime, they need him to perform. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. If I'm Dallas, I'm trying to get rid of him, and I'm trying to get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. Those are the two guys I'm trying to move this offseason. Because there are some guys in free agency that they could definitely add to their roster that I feel like would maybe put them back in the playoffs. And I got 5 guys that they should at least be targeting in the offseason. Guys that I think would maybe put them back at least in the situation that they end up getting themselves out of. There's certain guys in free agency that I think could maybe put them back to at least that pre the Kyrie Irving trade. So the first guy in the offseason that I think the Dallas Mavericks absolutely have to submit an offer to is Jakob Poeltl, of the Toronto Raptors. Jakob Poeltl is a guy who's becoming an unrestricted free agent. He's expected to make an average salary of $8 million a year, so figure $11 or $12 million a year on the high end. But if you're Dallas, you absolutely have to shore up your center position this offseason. There's a lot of guys in free agency you could go after. The main guy being Jakob Poeltl, but another guy I have on this list at number 5 of the 5 guys they should target in the offseason is Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant is an unrestricted free agent this year. I think Dallas could easily get him and shore up their center position, at least to some extent. He was a guy that we saw with the Lakers come in, get a starting role in the time that Anthony Davis went down, and he performed, man. He had some really good games for the Lakers. And I'm like, if Thomas Bryant is only making $900,000 this year, or this year, right now he's making less than $1 million. If you're the Mavericks, go out and offer him a 3-year deal worth $9 million. Or, I don't know, a 4-year deal worth, I don't know, $4 million, or 3 years worth $4 million, 3 years worth $5 million, something like that. Get Thomas Bryant on your fucking roster, okay? And make him the starting center if you can't get Jakob Poeltl. Because I feel like there's maybe going to be other teams that go after Jakob Poeltl, the Bucks being one of them, maybe. I don't know. I feel like Brook Lopez is going back to the Bucks, even though he's an unrestricted free agent. I think Brook Lopez goes back. But Jakob Poeltl is a guy that some teams are going to be going after. And I feel like one guy that you could get away with as a steal, highway robbery, value, unrestricted free agent, gonna get, a lot of upside out of him is Thomas Bryant. So if you can't get Jakob Poeltl, you go after Thomas Bryant. Honestly, even if you can get Jakob Poeltl, you should probably go after Thomas Bryant as well. Or at least Bismack Biyombo or somebody like that. Like, get your fucking center position shirt up, because you lost 2 games in a row to the Charlotte Hornets because you were absolutely out-rebounded to all hell playing against them. So those are 2 guys that I think Dallas definitely needs to go after out of the 5 players I have listed. The second guy they should go after is Jordan Clarkson. They miss Jalen Brunson off the bench so bad, it's unreal. And obviously, Jordan Clarkson is not Jalen Brunson. Okay, let's get that out of the way early. But it's just the idea, Jordan Clarkson is only 30 years old. I think you could get him on $12 million a year. He's a guy that is got a player option with the Utah Jazz this offseason. He's gonna decline it. He does not want to be a part of a fucking rebuild process, okay? Jordan Clarkson's 30 years old. He wants to win, okay? If you're Dallas, sign Jordan Clarkson, or at least pursue Jordan Clarkson. Get you your 6th man, okay? Get you your guy off the bench that you know is going to go out there and score your bench points for you. Jordan Clarkson has proven that he can do that, and I think in Dallas it would be a huge improvement for them, considering they got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith to bring in Kyrie Irving, who they're not getting back. I don't think Kyrie Irving's coming back. He wants to play with LeBron. And at least it gives you a bench scoring presence. You know what I'm saying? Another guard that can score, because that's really what they're missing. They had Kyrie Irving, but like I said, Kyrie Irving's not going back. And honestly, losing Kyrie Irving and replacing him with Jordan Clarkson's not the end of the world. I understand they're not the same caliber players. I understand Kyrie Irving is better, but bringing in Jordan Clarkson to replace Kyrie Irving isn't the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like Jordan Clarkson. Next, we get into restricted free agents, and one of them is P.J. Washington. P.J. Washington's a restricted free agent this offseason. Any deal he gets, Charlotte is probably going to match, but if they end up getting the number 1 overall pick in the draft, which, it's very possible they could. They have slim chances of doing it, but nothing's impossible. They could get, if they get the number 1 overall pick, they're going to draft Victor Wembanyama. And if they're drafting Victor Wembanyama, who knows? They might not care about P.J. Washington. They may just let P.J. Washington walk and say, fuck it. And if that's the case, I think he's a very nice stretch for Dallas in that case. If you're losing Christian Wood, which I think you definitely are, being that you couldn't work out a contract extension with him, I think bringing in P.J. Washington, or at least making an offer to P.J. Washington, doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? And there's actually a handful of decent power forwards in free agency this offseason. You have Jeremy Grant, who's going to be one of them. I think Kyle Kuzma's even out there. These are guys who may cost more money than Dallas has. But like I said, if you could move Tim Hardaway Jr. or Davis Bertans, it opens up a lot more possibilities for you. So that's the other flip side of this. And the last guy that I would like to see Dallas pursue is Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle's a guy that actually played a lot better once he got traded to the Portland Trailblazers. Like, once he got traded from the 76ers and went to the Trailblazers, he played 22 games, started all 22 games, averaged 1.7 steals a game, 7.4 points per game, shot 43% from the field, 38% from 3, which I think is fucking astounding. He shot, I think, like 62% from the free throw line, which isn't great, but we have seen years out of Matisse Thybulle where he can shoot 75, 79% from the free throw line. So there's something there shooting-wise with Matisse Thybulle. It's just, can Dallas unlock it? And for a guy who's only making, I think, an average salary of $3 million next year, Matisse Thybulle's a guy you might have to overpay a little bit, maybe pay him $5 million a year if you can get him. But if you can, I mean, even at that, Portland might match it. But since you lost Dorian Finney-Smith, your defense has been fucking horrendous. And I feel like Matisse Thybulle, he's 26 years old, he's 6'5". You can get another defensive wing in Matisse Thybulle. And yes, I get it, he's not the most complete player on offense, but you need defense, and Matisse Thybulle provides that. And being 26 years old, he's young. You know what I'm saying? He's still a young player. And I think if you're Dallas, adding Matisse Thybulle, Jakob Poeltl, Jordan Clarkson, and Thomas Bryant, you don't even really need PJ Washington, but I just threw him in there for ha-has. But if you can get those 4 players, and I think at least 1, 2, I think two of those 4 are easily acquirable. I think Jordan Clarkson is a guy you could get, and I think Thomas Bryant is a fucking gimme. I feel like if you were to offer him $3 million a year, 4 years, $3 million a year at a total of $12 million, I think you could easily land Thomas Bryant. So those are the guys that I kind of hope Dallas pursues in the offseason. There are some honorable mentions they could go after. Terrence Ross is one of them. Terrence Ross would be a nice vet to add to your roster. But this is a team that really needs to shore up the rebounding. They need to shore up the center position. Honestly, I feel like their priority this offseason should just be Jakob Poeltl. And then go after Thomas Bryant and Jordan Clarkson if you can. But those are the guys that I think they should go after. And I don't know, going to be an interesting offseason for the Dallas Mavericks, but we'll have to wait and see. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out, subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.